asks, قَالَ مَا خَطْبُكُمَا? What is the issue? Why are you standing away from the crowd? Why are you not watering your sheep? They reply, قَالَتَا لَا نَسْقِي حَتَّى يُصْدِرَ الرِّعَاءُ وَأَبُونَا شَيْخٌ كَبِيرٌ. We shall not water our flock until the shepherds disperse, and our father is an elderly man. Musa alayhi salam was so impressed by the modesty of these two young ladies that he offers them a helping hand. Despite the fact that he was fatigued, despite the fact that he was hungry and he was in a foreign land, he helps the two ladies water their flock. فَسَقَى لَهُمَا ثُمَّ تَوَلَّى إِلَى الظِّلِّ فَقَالَ رَبِّي إِنِّي لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٌ. So he watered their flocks and then turned towards the shade and said, My Lord, I am in dire need of any good that you may send.
Ahkam in brief. Wudu. Wudu is an act of worship which is needed for saying the daily prayers. It's also needed for other rituals, such as the tawaf around the Kaaba during Hajj or Umrah, touching the writing of the Holy Quran, and a few other rituals. Wudu is performed with water. The water must be tahir, so you can't make wudu with najis water. The water must be ownerless and not usurped. The water must be pure, like the running tap water in our homes, and it shouldn't be mixed with any other liquids like lemon juice. So now, how to perform wudu? There are 4 general steps. Washing of the face, washing of the arms, wiping of the head, and wiping of the feet. And now, let's get to know them in detail. First of all, your intention should be to seek proximity to Allah and nothing else. Then, wash your face from the head's hairline above the forehead to the chin vertically, and horizontally as much as the expanse of your hand between the thumb and the middle finger. Note that you should do the washing from the top to the bottom of the face without the need to soak thick beard hair if you have it. Secondly, wash your right arm from the elbow to the fingertips using the left hand. The direction of washing should be from the elbow down to the fingertips. Repeat this step for the left arm, this time using your right hand. Third, wipe with your right hand while it is still wet the front of your hair, preferably with the palm of your hand, starting from the top of the head to the hairline, excluding the forehead. Note that the wiping area should be completely dry before this step. You can wipe the hair with no need to wipe the scalp. Fourth, while both hands are still wet from the previous steps, wipe your right foot with your right hand from the toes to the ankle. Repeat this and wipe your left foot with your left hand. Note that the wiping parts should be dry, and you are not allowed to use new tap water for these steps. That's it. The wudu is done, and now you are in a state of tahara. There are a few general instructions which you have to observe performing your wudu. All the parts of your body which are engaged in wudu, including your face, hands, arms, top of the head, and feet, should be tahir before making wudu, or at least they should become tahir while you're washing them. Wudu must be sequential. That is, the washing of the face should come before that of the arms, your right arm before the left one, and wiping the head before wiping the feet. The wudu acts should be carried out uninterrupted and without any delay. You should continue the process while the previous washed or wiped parts are still wet. Otherwise, if the delay causes the parts to become dry, the wudu is void. This is exceptional if they become dry as a result of strong wind or hot weather, while you're continuing in your normal pace. You must do the acts of wudu by yourself as long as you are able to do so. And if you are disabled or unable to do this, someone else can help you. For example, by lifting your hand and washing your face with it. There must not be any barrier masking your body skin from the wudu water, such as paint, glue or nail polish. Using water shouldn't be detrimental to one's health. In such a case, you should perform tayammum instead of wudu. Finally, a question. What invalidates the wudu? There are 7 things which invalidate it. Urination, passing stool, breaking wind, sleep, anything that makes you unconscious, such as falling unconscious, or drunkenness. Medium and minor istihada for ladies. And finally, janaba.
See, life is all about energy. Everything in life is about energy. And in life, there's an energy scale of between 1 and 10, where 1 is over here and 10 is over here. But most people play life over here. But everything which you want out of life lives over here. But most people play life over here. Do you know why? When you jump off the cliff of life, then you can live within your gift. Why? Because parachutes don't open when you're standing still. You've got to jump for your parachute to open. It's comfortable because it's safe. But when you start getting outside of your comfort zone, when you start living over here, life feels very, very, very uncomfortable. And you know, as you want to grow, the one thing which is going to happen is you're going to hit problems. And most people in life, they don't want problems. Imagine this. Imagine if you went to the local hospital right now and you asked them to take a heart trace of you and they put some ECG leads on you. What would your heart trace look like? It would look like that, right? But most people want a life like that. The people don't want those up and down problems. They don't want the lows and the highs and the lows and highs. They want it to be flat. But if your heart line, if your trace was flat, you'd be dead. So I want to tell you one thing, that life's going to have ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. But I've coached from startups to billionaires. And the one thing I can promise to you is even the billionaires have low points. But you know what the key in life is? The key is how you stay in the lowest points for the least amount of time possible. That 2 minutes of negativity causes 4 hours of immunosuppression. That if you're negative for 2 minutes, your body's beaten down for 4 hours. You can literally kill yourself by being negative. And so many of us, we've got thoughts which are holding us back. There's negativity which is there from when we were a kid, and it's not even our fault. Now, let me tell you one thing. The first thing you need to do is understand that life's this journey. But the growth happens on the downhills. The growth never happens. And do you know what? For you to get to the next stage of your life, for you to grow, Allah's going to give you problems. And those problems are going to get harder and harder and harder, because probably right now, can you remember a time when you had a really big problem in your life? And at that point, you thought it was the worst problem ever. And now that problem seems little. Why is that? It's because you've grown as a person. And now your problems get bigger and bigger and bigger. But understand, that's why Allah gives us problems. Allah gives us problems to grow, not just to give us a hard time. Think of the lobster. The lobster's a mushy animal with a thick outer shell. And how does a lobster grow? When a lobster wants to grow, it feels pain. It feels so much pain, and it goes under a rock. It sheds its shell, and that's how it grows. And then it grows a new shell. And then for it to become the next version of itself, the better version of itself, then it grows a new shell. And then it goes through problems. Then it goes through pain. Now imagine if lobsters had doctors. It would go to the doctor, and the doctor would give it a Valium, and the lobster would be happy, and it would never grow. So in your life, understand that problems are here to make you grow. Problems are here to shape you. Now let me tell you a story. There was a farmer one day. And this farmer loved his wife so much. And one day, his wife passed away. And this farmer only had 2 things left. He had a son and he had a horse. And what the son used to do is the son used to sit on the horse, and the horse used to plow the field, and that used to pay for the farmer's house and the farmer's upkeep. And one day, this horse ran away. And all the villagers, they came to the farmer and they told the farmer, you know what, God really mustn't like you. What have you done to upset God? Because first he takes your wife away, and now he takes your horse away. That's cruel, right? And the farmer turns around to the people in the village. He puts his hands behind his back. He bends down like this. And he says, maybe. And all the villagers are stunned. What does that mean? And then the villagers go away. 2 days later, this horse actually comes back. But with this horse, the horse brings back another 3 wild horses with him. And all the villagers come back and they go to the farmer. God must love you so much. What have you done to please him so much? First, he takes the horse away, but now he doesn't bring you back your horse, but he brings you back another 3 horses as well. You're the richest man in the village. You know, God must love you so much. What have you done? And the farmer turns around to the people. He puts his hands behind his back. He bends down. And he says, maybe. And all the villagers are stunned and then they go away. 3 days later, the son is on one of these wild horses and he's taming the horse. And all of a sudden the horse pushes the son against the wall. The son hits his back against the wall. He breaks his legs and now he's in a wheelchair. And all the villagers run back to the farm and they say, oh my God, God really mustn't like you. You know, God really, your son was the only guy who could help you build your fortune. And now, you know, God's taken your son away. What have you done? Why doesn't God love you? And the farmer turns around to the people. He puts his hands behind his back. He bends down. And what does he say? Yeah. He says, maybe. And all the villagers go away. A week later, there's an announcement in the village. And what it is that the country's going to war. And the army is going to come in to take each and every able-bodied man so they can go to war. But this isn't just any old war. This is a big war. The country they're fighting is 5 times the size, and each and every man which enters into this war will never come out alive. So the army comes in, and the army picks out each and every able-bodied man, and he comes to the farmer's house. Yeah, and you know the story, right?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings upon all of our respective viewers. Thank you for tuning in to Ahlulbayt TV. This is the Q&A session coming to you live, as is the case on Sunday evenings. And inshallah, we're on air until 9:30 this evening. Plenty of time for you to get your questions in. Thank you for those who have already sent some questions to us. Quick reminder of the ways in which you can get in touch with us. As always, as you can see on your screens, the number which allows you to send a WhatsApp or a text message is there with the number. It'll be there, inshallah, throughout the duration of the show. Alternatively, if you're watching via YouTube, you can also post your questions there. And we will do our utmost to get through all of your questions, time permitting, inshallah, without any further delay. On behalf of all of our viewers, I'd like to welcome His Eminence, Sayyid Mohammad Al-Mousawi, to Ahlulbayt TV. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyidina.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajhum. One of the principles of our life is the principle of the importance of knowledge. Every human being knows that knowledge is very important and knowledge is essential and ignorance is harmful and damaging. So we keep this principle in front of us in every matter. If you go to a place where people are unaware of some important medical and health facts, won't be your responsibility to inform them to avoid some habits which go against their hygiene and health? Of course, that will be your responsibility as a human being to help others to avoid harm. Exactly as we must try to avoid people any harm in their health. We also need to inform people about any harm which can affect their minds, their hearts, their life, and their future. We must inform those who don't know. We cannot say that, oh, we should leave all those who don't know hygiene and they don't care for bacteria or viruses or microbes, and let them get ill, and if they get ill and die, it makes no difference. No, that can never be accepted. We can never accept letting any human being to suffer because of ignorance, as far as we are able to inform him. That is not something as a voluntary work from us. No, it is a compulsory, obligatory duty on us to save lives of others. Now we live in a world where many people don't know some important facts which are essential for their life and future. The creator of life, whether he is one or he is more than one, and the life future and the messengers sent by the creator to guide the human beings. The message of Islam is unknown till today by hundreds of millions of people. Are we responsible to inform them? The answer is yes, we are. We are responsible to inform everyone whom we can inform. We must inform them that the fact is this and that. Now, whether they accept or they don't accept, that is another story. It is not our responsibility to make them accept. Our duty is to inform in a proper way. We cannot accept the excuse of people who don't want to open their mouth. They think it is not my business. No, it is your business. It is your business. We have to tell anyone whom we can tell that Islam is the message from the Creator, and Islam is the only way for happiness and peace of mind, and Islam is the only way for your future in this life and hereafter. And we also inform our Muslim brothers about the real Islam of the Prophet and his holy progeny, Ahlulbayt. That also is a responsibility on us as far as we can. So I just want to focus on this principle, which is common among all human beings, that our responsibility to inform those who don't know in the field of medicine, health, in the field of social life, in the field of the schools, looking after children, type of food, every matter which concerns the life, we have to inform. And also we have to accept information from others. We have to accept information from others. And we have to part our information with others. This is a principle which must be looked after and cared for. Alhamdulillah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa alihi وعجل فرجهم.
Thank you very much indeed. So the first question I have is from somebody who says that he or she used the toilet, and unfortunately at the toilet there was no water, and wasn't able to get hold of any water until they reached home after Maghrib, and wants to know, in such a state where they are unable to perform tahara using water, how should they perform salah? For example, if they needed to pray salatul dhuhr and asr before the sun set.
This question is common, especially during the winter, when people leave home in the morning and they don't return back, but only after Maghrib, when they use the toilet and there's no water in many areas. So what to do for Salat al-Dhuhr and Salat al-Asr? The reply is this. In Islam, when you go to the toilet, if you use the tissue in the toilet, tissue can make your body pure, tahir, from the feces. But the tissue cannot make your private parts tahir from the urine. So, if you urinate, you must drop little bit of water on the najis part. Many people take with them small bottle of water or small cup of water, which is enough. That can solve the problem after urination, which is very simple and practical. Using the tissue is enough as far as the feces is concerned. Just remove the najis item totally, and after that 3 times of wiping over the area will make the area tahir, and then you perform your wudu and salah. But let us say that in case you could not get that little bit of water to clean your private parts from urine, what can you do? The answer: if you cannot get water for making your private parts tahir from urine, then just dry it. It will remain najis, but you must perform wudu and perform your salah before the time of salah goes away. You cannot wait till after Maghrib when you return back home. No, because the time of Salat al-Dhuhr will go. Time of Salat al-Asr will go away. No, you must perform wudu and perform your salah with the situation that you are, because you have no other choice. You have no other choice. So, briefly, to purify your body is compulsory for salah. But if you cannot purify your body, salah is more important than purifying your body. You cannot leave salah because you are unable to make your body tahir. You must perform salah with the situation that you are with. And then when you go home, you can drop some water on that area and make it tahir, you don't need to repeat your salah, which you have already performed. That salah which you performed is valid because you could not have water and you had no choice. You have two choices or two options, either to leave the time of salah to go and wait till you go home and purify your body, or to pray as you are. You must pray as you are because you are unable to purify your body from urine. So pray as you are, and then when you go home for the coming other prayers, then you pray with full purity. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. With regards to the tissue, and after not urinating but doing or excreting, you said using a tissue 3 times makes the area tahir.
After removing the excretion, after removing away, if you remove away the najis material, then 3 times wiping with the tissue makes it tahir, not before removing the najis item.
Okay, understood. My question was more along the lines of how one feels. Obviously, tissue cannot be compared to water. Somebody may carry out, so remove the excretion and then use tissue 3 times, but psychologically or even just realistically or in reality, should I say, know that they still don't feel clean. Does that have any impact on whether shar'an they are tahir or not?
I mean, in Sharia, to purify your body from the excretion, we have got many ways, not only water. Water is the best. But beside water, we have got ahjar. Ahjar
Stones.
means stones. The stones which remove away the excretion. After the whole, all the excretion is being removed away, wiped away, then 3 times of wiping with any hard material like stone or tissue, that will make the area tahir. This is the way. But we say that if you have possibility or you have access to the water, water is the best. But we are mentioning this for those who cannot get water. So when they have tissue can help them in making their body tahir from the excretion.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Next question. My non-Muslim colleagues at work offer me food. Can I eat it?
Eating food. We are allowed to eat the food which is not najis, and the food which does not contain non-halal parts. If they offer you any food which has got meat in it, or meat ingredients, or animal ingredients, no question of consuming any meat or animal ingredients which are not halal. This is one. If the food is vegetarian or vegan, can we consume vegetarian food given to us or offered by non-Muslims? The answer, if the food was not being touched with wet hands by najis person, then you are allowed to consume it. But if the food was being definitely touched by a najis person, then that food becomes najis. And it is not permissible for us as Muslims to consume najis food or najis drink. If you know that this food was being touched by a najis person, then don't consume it. If you don't know and you have got a reasonable possibility in your thinking, in your mind, you have a reasonable possibility that this food was being prepared and offered to you without being touched with wet hands or wetness by a najis person, then everything which is not known as najis is tahir for you. Yes, please.
Thank you. If I have a very important need, what can I recite?
A person has a very important need. What recitations can be done or recited for getting his very important need? This question has many details in answering it, but to be very brief, first of all, to know in your heart of heart that everything in this universe is in the hands of Allah. Allah. If Allah wants to grant you, He will grant you. Of course, the wasila and the shafa'ah, the intercession of Allah's most beloved servants does help a lot. But first of all, to know that Allah is the source. He is the giver. So seek from Him. And Allah has encouraged us to seek from Him. Allah said, Id'uni astajib lakum. Seek from me, I will respond to you. So the first is to know that your need, your wish is in the hands of Allah, and seek from Him. Ya Allah, you have my wish. I beg and seek from you. Number two, the wasila of Ahlulbayt and the most beloved servants of Allah means the Prophet and Ahlulbayt. And all those beloved servants of Allah. To seek from Allah, Ya Allah, by your most beloved servants, by their status with you, grant me my need and grant the need of other believers. Number three, whenever you have an important need or any need, pray for other believers who have similar need or other needs. Means pray for the believers for fulfillment of their needs. That prayers which you make for other believers, that will have very bad reflect on you. The angels will tell you, وَلَكَ مِثْلَهُ, you will get double. And we have got another narration, وَلَكَ مِئَةُ أَلْفٍ, you will get 100,000 times. So whenever you need anything from Allah, seek from Allah to grant other believers. In the hadith, that praying for other believers, not in front of them, will make your income fall down like heavy rain on you. يهيل الرزق هيلا. Praying for others. Also, one of the useful ways to get your wishes or needs fulfilled is to pray near your parents. If they are alive, so they should also pray for you. If they are not alive, go to their graves, and there, near the grave of your parents, seek from Allah. Allah will grant the need of those who seek from Him near their parents' graves. Also, one of the ways to get your needs fulfilled is to perform night prayer. Salat al-Layl, namaz al-Shab. Namaz al-Shab, night prayer, Salatul Layl, is the key or the master key, not only the key, the master key for every need in this life and hereafter. The master key is Salatul Layl, night prayer. For every wish in this life and for every wish hereafter. Salatul Layl, night prayer. Next, one of the very important things to get your wish fulfilled is Ziyarat Ashura. Ziyarat Ashura is a ziyarat narrated from Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam, in which the mu'mineen talk to and visit Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, Assalamu alayka ya ibn Rasulillah. Ziyarat Ashura, which is available, yes, just you can type on the internet, Ziyarat Ashura. This ziyarat has got a great effect in getting the important wishes. One of our great ulama, who is known as Na'ini, he was the teacher of the great Maraja of Taqleed in Najaf. He has written a reply when he was being asked, what is the best to be done to get our important wishes? He replied, I don't know anything greater to get your wishes than reciting Ziyarat Ashura. So recite Ziyarat Ashura every day. Inshallah, your wishes will be fulfilled. Keeping in mind that if for any reason the fulfillment is delayed, don't doubt, but always have a trust that Allah will give you the best for you in the best time that He knows. But keep on seeking and supplicating. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjil farajhum, which will be always our start of every supplication and the end of every supplication.
Thank you very much indeed. Moving on, excuse me. My brother suffers from kidney problems. A non-Muslim friend suggested drinking beer as a form of treatment. Would this be allowed?
Not allowed. In Islam, treatment cannot be through any unlawful material. We have got hadith that Allah has never kept cure in any material which is unlawful. Beer is unlawful. Then it is not allowed to drink beer under any circumstance, even those who think that it can be helpful or it can be cure for any disease, especially kidney disease. No, in Islam, it is not permissible to drink or to consume any non-permissible, non-halal, any material which is not permissible. It is not permissible, and it will never help in getting cure at all. So tell your brother to be careful not to touch beer and not to touch any haram material, and seek treatment through other ways. Allah has created hundreds of ways and hundreds of types of material, as the hadith says, Inna Allah Azza wa Jal khalaqa li kulli da'in dawa'a fatadawaw yarhamukumullah. Allah has created for every illness a cure. So seek cure, seek medicine, but never come near the material or the beer or the anything which is not permissible.
Okay, thank you. This question I think was put to you last time you spoke, but it's been asked again, so I'll ask you again. It's 3 questions. Let me ask them individually. The first one is, if they're all related, if a wife asks for divorce, is it khula or raj'i? That's the first question.
Okay, if a wife asks for divorce, is the divorce is khul'i, khula, or raj'i? Answer: we should make it clear that there is a big misunderstanding among people about the meaning of khula. Khula or al-talaq al-khul'i or al-khal'i is a type of talaq. We have got talaq in which husband decides to terminate the marriage. It should be valid reasons, not injustice. This talaq is called raj'i. Raj'i means returnable, reversible, means after talaq, the husband has got right to return back to his wife within the waiting period after divorce, which is approximately 3 months. And if he decides to return back and take back his wife, they don't need to recite nikah again. They are already married. And the waiting period is not the end of the marriage. When the waiting period, the 3 months, is over, then the marriage is terminated. That is raj'i. If the wife does not like to continue with her husband, we call the case al-mar'atul kariha, when the wife does not want at all to continue. Here, sometimes she gets divorced from her husband without any objection. He said, okay, you don't want me, I don't want you, go. Sometimes husband says, no, I have spent, I have done, I have did that, so give me something to give you divorce. If she gives him any material, any amount, any money, anything, just to get divorce from him, that is called talaq khul'i. Khula is a type of talaq in which the wife gives the husband anything or any amount just to get her talaq from him. If he takes that money or the amount, whatever she offered him, and he accepted and he gives talaq, that is called talaq khul'i. And this talaq khul'i is final, no return in it. In talaq al-raj'i, we say that there is period of 3 months or more or less in which the husband can take back his wife. But in the talaq khul'i, when the husband takes from his wife some amount and give her, when he gives her talaq, then that talaq has no return. No return. That is talaq khul'i. Some people think that talaq khul'i is when the husband does wrong and the wife goes and herself goes to the court or goes to someone and she divorces her husband on her own. That is not talaq khul'i. That is not talaq khul'i at all. We have got rules in Islam. If a husband is doing injustice on his wife, where to go? And he is not accepting to give her talaq at all, including talaq khul'i, means he says, I don't want your money, I will not give you divorce. She had got right to go to the Islamic authority, means the marja of taqleed or his authentic deputy, and put her case and prove that she is being victimized by her husband, and husband is not giving her her rights. For example, not spending on her or anything wrong from the husband on the wife. So the Islamic authority, the marja of taqleed, will take 3 steps. Number 1, he will order the husband to give all the rights of his wife according to Islamic Sharia. If the husband accepts, so it is good. If the husband does not agree to give the rights of his wife, then next step, the marja of taqleed, the Islamic authority, will order him that as you are not agreeing to give her her rights, then you are being ordered to give her talaq, divorce her. If the husband rejects the second order, means he rejected to give her her rights, and now he is rejecting to give her talaq, comes then the third stage, that the marja of taqleed himself, he gives talaq to this oppressed wife, without consent from the husband, because the husband was being given 2 chances and he rejected both. So in that case, the final step is the marja of taqleed, or his deputy issues talaq for this oppressed woman, and they free her from injustice. Yes, please.
Okay, the second question is, does witness have to be only man?
2 witnesses must be pious, 2 men, yes.
Okay. And the third question is, does she have any rights to ask for anything like money, property, or house?
In Islam, wife is entitled for all her expenses during the waiting period, and all the expenses of her children from this man for life, till they are able to earn. So as far as the expenses of the children, yes, it is everlasting, means forever, till the children are grown up and able to earn. But for her own expenses, only the 3 months of the waiting period.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please.
If okay, so we move on now to a different question. If one has habit in wasting tap water during bathroom, ghusl, wudu, etc., due to suffering from OCD, can they use disposable gloves instead every time they go to the bathroom?
If someone has got a habit of using
wasting water due to OCD.
Wasting water?
Yes, due to OCD. Can they therefore, to try and overcome or to mitigate this OCD, can they go to the bathroom every time and wear disposable gloves?
Nothing wrong in it. Repeated doubt must be tackled. This is an illness, and according to our understanding, it is from shaitan. To keep on doubting whether I made my body tahir or not, and keep on repeating and repeating and repeating, washing and pouring water, that is from shaitan. So if you can tackle it by using gloves or by doing anything else which is permissible, yes, it is good. No harm at all to use the gloves and get your body tahir without wasting water. Of course, you must use the water, as I said. In the urination, water must be used. And in the excretion, the water is the best, but you can even use the tissue only.
Okay. A non-believer rejects the idea that a son or daughter can recite qada prayers or perform hajj on behalf of their father after his death, believing that these acts will lead to the forgiveness of the father's sins.
I mean, who is rejecting this idea?
A non-believer.
Non-believer is non-believer. I mean, when a person is non-believer, so after all, he comes out from his denying the faith. We and every believer, we take religion from the most authentic source. We believe in Allah, and Allah has sent messengers, and the messengers have appointed deputies, the infallible imams. So we believe and follow the truth. And we don't care whether non-believers believe or don't believe. In fact, non-believers, they don't believe in Allah. So it is their own problem, not our problem. If someone asks, is it permissible for son or daughter to perform worship on behalf of their parents? The answer is yes. What is the evidence? The evidence is from the authentic narration from the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him and his holy progeny, and Ahlulbayt. So non-believers don't make or don't mean anything to change our faith or to change our practice in following the truth.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Can a Muslim country be changed into
Can a Muslim?
Can a Muslim country like Sudan be changed into a non-Muslim pagan country?
I mean, this question should be addressed to them, not to us. I mean, this is a matter which we did not have any say in it, and we don't have any say in it. In general, every human being should submit to the will of Allah. The will of Allah, if people want to follow the will of the Creator, God Almighty, then it is in Islam. If you follow the political reasons, that is something different from the truth. You ask me, can a Muslim country change to non-Muslim or to pagan? That is, the answer is clearly no, it is not permissible, but it is not in our hands, in the hands of the political leaders of that country, and those political leaders don't care whether it is permissible or not permissible. Yes, please.
Okay. Can a Muslim eat in a Jewish restaurant?
Can a Muslim eat in a Jewish restaurant? Good question. Because many people think that the Jewish food and Jewish meat is like halal meat, which is wrong. The answer is this: any meat slaughtered by Jewish or Christian or any human being who is not a Muslim is not halal for Muslim. Now, some non-followers of Ahlulbayt claim that in Quran, yes, it is in Quran, وَطَعَامُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ حِلٌّ لَكُمْ وَطَعَامُكُمْ حِلٌّ لَهُمْ. Ta'am is not any food. Ta'am in Arabic is the grains. Grains means you are allowed to buy and eat from them and sell to them grains. It does not mean at all the meat, no. So the followers of Ahlul Bayt, following the authentic hadith from the Prophet, we are not allowed to eat any meat not slaughtered in a proper way as halal by a Muslim. So no question of eating from Jewish restaurant if the food does not contain any meat. or meat ingredients. Completely vegetarian here, if the food was prepared without being touched by wet hands, then it is permissible. But if it was being touched, we have among our scholars some scholars who say that people of the book are not najis. So according to that verdict, that also permits eating non-halal, non means vegetarian food from people of book. Yes, please.
Can Muslims eat snails and escargot?
Can Muslim eat
snails and escargot? Just trying to figure out what that means. Sorry.
Snails, yeah. And anyway, snails and other animal in the water, right?
Yeah, it's a type of snail.
Okay. The answer, in Islam, all the water animals, what we eat from water, only fish with scales, not any fish with scales, and shrimp or prawns, nothing more. Snails are haram. Crabs are haram. Shells are haram. Snakes are haram. Any type of water animals which are not fish with scales and not prawns or shrimps are not permissible.
Okay, thank you. Is Najaf or Mashhad the most sacred Shia city?
The most sacred cities on this planet are Mecca, Medina, Najaf, Karbala. Then Al-Kadhimiyya, then Mashhad, then Samarra, wherever the infallible imams are buried, these are the best and the most sacred places on this earth. Yes, please.
Sorry, Sayyid, I just wanted to clarify. You mentioned Makkah, then Medina. Were you naming them in order of significance?
Mecca, Medina, Najaf, Karbala, Kadhimain, Mashhad, then Samarra.
Okay, thank you. So how would we explain to a non-Shia the value that we see in certain ahadith given to the ziyarah of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, or Karbala in particular, but of course because Imam's buried there, especially when it's compared to a certain number of Hajj or Umrah, as in the thawab one gets for going.
Yes, the reward of the visitation ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is greater than the reward of recommended Hajj and Umrah, recommended. But we can never leave the obligatory Hajj and go for ziyarah instead. So the great thawab is greater than the recommended, not the obligatory Hajj.
Understood. Okay. Is it permissible to invest in cryptocurrencies? How can one distinguish between gambling on a trade and making a legitimate investment?
The matter of cryptocurrency is more or less still a new matter for many of the scholars. And the scholars don't give a verdict without getting all details to understand everything in the matter. They don't jump on giving verdict. Many of our scholars have not yet reached to clear picture. That's why they did not give verdict whether it is permissible or not permissible. But we have got great scholars, Maraji of Taqleed, who did say that dealing in cryptocurrency is permissible as far as it does not break the law of the land, it does not break the regulations, and it should not harm anyone. This is a verdict from a marji of taqleed in Qum, and you can act upon it. Now, the question of the difference between trading and gambling. There is big difference. Gambling is not allowed at all because gambling does not have anything you do to win or to lose. Gambling is depending totally on the chance. It is gambling. While trading, you select what to buy and when to buy and when to sell. So there is an effort from your side. If you tell me that the crypto goes down and up, every commodity also goes up and down. Now, oil goes up and down, gold goes up and down. So that does not mean that trading in commodities is like gambling. No, gambling is not permissible while trading is permissible.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please.
Is there a connection between Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper painting and Islam or Shiism?
You know, the painting of Da Vinci is related to the Last Supper. We in Islam have got in Surah Al-Ma'idah many verses when Isa alayhi salam was being asked, هل يستطيع ربك أن ينزل علينا مائدة من السماء تكون لنا عيدا لأولنا وآخرنا. Isa alayhi salam prayed for them, and Allah قال الله إني منزلها عليهم. Allah granted them, the disciples of Isa, Allah granted them a meal of food from the sky. That is mentioned in Quran. Whether this table of food, Ma'idah, which was sent from the sky, is the same Last Supper or not, that is different issue. The Nazarites claim that it is the Last Supper. We don't have evidence that food which was sent from the sky is the Last Supper. So this much we confirm that a table of food was sent from the sky, from Allah, to the disciples of Jesus alayhi salam.
Okay, thank you. My mother has been in a non-halal relationship for 9 years. They are both alcoholics. I'm always kind to her, but now she is demanding me to support the relationship and like him. How do I deal with this?
To talk to them, to convince them, to advise them that when Allah has made the lawful relationship easy and blessed, not only easy, but also blessed, then why to go to unlawful relationship? What is their benefit from keeping unlawful relationship when Allah made it so easy to have lawful, blessed relationship? Try to talk to them and convince them. May Allah guide them and guide all of us.
During Salatul Witr, is it permissible to include Imam Mahdi in the list of 40 believers mentioned during Qunut?
We pray for Imam al-Mahdi for the reappearance, because we pray for 40 mu'mineen for their forgiveness. We say, Allahumma ghfir li abi, my father, my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, my daughters, my sisters, my brothers, so and so, my friends with their names. Yes, but when you mention Imam al-Mahdi, pray for his reappearance. Allahumma ajjil li waliyika al-faraj. So we pray for the infallible, that Allah Ta'ala grant them the fast faraj, which is the relief for all the believers. And also we should pray for the followers and supporters of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam. Yes, please.
Thank you. What guidelines should be followed if Hindu workers in your organization serve tea, water, or food?
A person who is non-Muslim and not from people of book offers you food. The answer, if the food does not contain non-halal material, means no non-halal meat and no alcohol and no any other najis material, and the food was not being touched with wet hands by a najis person. Say if he offers you biscuits, or he gives you banana. You know, banana, you can take it and you peel it and eat it. So that is permissible. But if you are sure that the food which was being offered to you by the non-Muslim is definitely najis, like some bread, they do it using their hands. Definitely. The way of baking it is their own hands without gloves. So if you are sure that this food was being touched by non-Muslim who is not from people of book, touching with their hands. This type of food is najis, and we are not allowed to consume any najis food. So it depends on what they offer you, whether it is tahir or not tahir.
The Quran says angels and Gabriel ascend to Allah in a day equivalent to 5,000 terrestrial years. Does this imply that Allah is controlling the earthly matters, sitting on the throne? Then how can it be that Allah is nearer to us than the veins?
Allah controls everything in this universe. And everywhere. Because our universe is not the whole existence. Our universe was created by Allah. And Allah in Quran mentioned, وَالسَّمَاءُ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. We created the sky with our powers, and we are extending the skies. So the movement of the angels, the length of the night, everything is in the control or under the control of Allah. Allah is near to us, nearer than our vein. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. You know, the vein in our neck. Allah is nearer to us. And Allah is everywhere in this universe. So we cannot compare Allah with anyone else, anything else. We say, La ilaha illa ant. That's it. La ilaha illallah. And we say, Subhanak. We can never compare Allah with anyone else or anything else. But we say, Subhanak. La ilaha illa ant. Subhanallahi. Walhamdulillah. Wa la ilaha illallah. Wallahu akbar. Yes, please.
Thank you. There was a question, if you just bear with me a second. Where is it? Okay. I recently had hijama done. When removing, I recently had hijama done. When removing the suction cups, the practitioner cleaned the blood away using a dry tissue only. I was then advised not to shower for at least 24 hours after the hijama. Is it not the case that my back will be najis? If yes, how can I make it tahir without using water?
Number one, if the blood made your back najis, then your back remains najis till you wash it with water. Number two, the advice that you should not wash your back for 24 hours is not a real advice. No. Those who have got experience in hijama cupping, they tell their patients to wash after half an hour or maximum 1 hour, not to wash with hot water. So the point that you should not wash for 24 hours is exaggeration. And you must wash your back for your salah. This is different from an operation, because hijama is very simple. Very simple. And your body itself will heal itself. The operation is something different. I mean, someone goes through surgery and the doctor tells him that this surgery, you should not put water for 24 hours. That's okay, because the surgery. But hijama is something very simple, and it does not need at all such long period of time without water. So after hijama, wait for half an hour or say 1 hour, and you must, before the time of your salah, whenever you want to pray salah, your back where blood was there, that must be washed. Yes, please.
Sunnis say we should only ask direct to Allah, not through anyone or imams. They say their hajat will not be accepted if we ask anything through anyone, even not to ask Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. How would I explain to her it's not the case and we should ask through our prophets and imams?
Number one, this claim is not Sunni claim. This is Wahhabi claim. You know, majority of non-Shias are Sunnis, and majority of Sunnis are non-Wahhabis. Sunnis ask their sheikhs. You know, in the subcontinent, majority of the Sunnis are Barelwis, and Barelwis believe in the Ghaus A'zam, Ghaus A'zam, who is buried in Iraq, in Baghdad, and they celebrate his birthday in a great way. And Sunnis go to many mazar, like Ajmer. They call it Ajmer Sharif. And Sunnis in Pakistan go to Qalandar. And Sunnis in Egypt go to Badawi. And Sunnis in different areas go to different places. So majority of Sunnis, they seek their needs through their own leaders. The claim that you have now reflected is from the Wahhabis. This is number one. Number two, when we seek our needs through the Prophet and Ahlulbayt, we don't believe that the Prophet is a God or assistant of God or deputy of God. No, we believe that the Prophet and Ahlulbayt are the most humble servants of Allah. We only seek from them to pray for us through their dua, because they are very high in front of Allah compared with our status. So we are sinners, and we seek from the best servants of Allah to remember us and seek from Allah to grant us our needs. We never think that they are assistants of God or deputies of God or partners of God. No, that is wrong. So tell those who claim that seeking your needs from the humble servants of Allah is worshipping them, that you are misunderstanding the situation. We never worship anyone but only Allah. Yes, please.
We recently heard in the news where in Sudan men were killed and their women raped. To prevent themselves from being sexually abused, women committed suicide. Is this permitted in Islam?
I mean, a woman who is sure that she will be raped, what she should do? She should protect herself in every possible way. every woman who is in danger must protect herself in every possible way. Yes, please.
Is it allowed to use makeup and skincare products purchased in Muslim countries that are made or exported from non-Muslim countries?
Makeup or skin care materials, products. In fact, any makeup or any skin care product or lotion or shampoo or ointment, any material which is for outer use, not for inner, not to consume, anything which is for out of the body is permissible for use. You can apply any material of skin care or any makeup, whether the material is tahir or not tahir. Even if you are sure that this product is najis, can you apply it on your skin? Yes. But if you are sure that it is najis, then before performing wudu or salah, you must wash that area. You must wash the area. That if you are sure that it is najis. But if you are not sure that it is najis, then you can take it as tahir. So yes, it is permissible to use any makeup or skincare material wherever it was being manufactured, whether it is tahir or najis. If it is definitely najis, then wash it before wudu and salah. If it is not sure that it is najis, then you can take it as tahir.
Okay, thank you. I would like to know if it's permissible for me to talk to my fiance over the phone. If possible, I would like to also know, can I respond to her via email?
The relationship between you and your fiancé, if it is just formal, without any emotions, formal, then it is okay. But if it includes emotions, then it is not permissible without aqd, a contract, even temporary contract. Because when you talk emotion, intimate with her, you need an Islamic frame to allow you to talk that feeling which you want to express to her, or she wants to express to you. Without aqd between you, no. But with aqd, which is always advisable nowadays, make aqd of any agreed period of time, and that aqd can be conditional, that it does not allow sexual relations, only talking, then you can talk to her.
Can I ask you, because I've observed that this type of practice, like you said, maybe like a mut'a, for an opportunity for the prospective spouses to get to know each other before marriage, is something that's practiced, but it seems, at least this is the observations that I've made, I could be wrong, but it seems that it's practiced differently in different cultures. So one follower of the Ahlulbayt from a particular part of the world may have a mut'ah to decide whether or not someone's appropriate for marriage, whereas in another part of the Shi'i world, that would be frowned upon. Is that correct? And if so, why is that the case?
You see, people have got their cultural influences, but in understanding the Islamic rules, there's no scope of bringing your cultural input on any Sharia rule. Means your cultural input cannot change any rule and cannot create any rule. So the Islamic rules of the temporary marriage are same in all human societies, and it is not permissible to change any rule because of our cultural situation. We fix on following the Islamic rules taught to us by the Prophet and Ahlulbayt alayhim salam, and after them the authentic, our great maraja of taqleed, and we don't change anything just because of our culture.
Okay, thank you. Is it allowed to use a digital tasbih instead of a physical one during the prayer of Salatul Witr?
Is it allowed to pray?
Is it allowed to use a digital tasbih as opposed to...
Is it allowed to use while praying salat, any salah, to use digital tasbih? The answer, yes, it is allowed. While praying any salah, whether obligatory salah or recommended salah, or while doing tasbih of salat al-witr, the last rak'at of the night prayer. Is it allowed to use the digital tasbih? The answer is yes. Not only the digital tasbih, you can use your own cell phone, mobile phone, to read Quranic verses. If you want to recite long verses that it is not in your memory, can you read from your cell phone, mobile phone? Yes, it is permissible in obligatory salah and also in recommended salah.
Sayyidina, there was just a follow-up question on the one about a lady who fears for her life and being raped. They just want clarification. You said protect yourself in every way. Does that include suicide?
No. No. Suicide, no. She has to protect herself in every possible way. If her life was being attacked, she can protect her life in the suitable way. But Islam does not give right of killing yourself. No. Killing yourself by yourself means committing suicide is not permissible in Islam for such reason. Yes, please.
My concern is if a woman gets vaginal spotting during pregnancy, can she still pray during vaginal spotting? You know, spotting.
If a woman gets
spotting, you know, spotting like spots of blood. She sees spots of blood.
Okay.
While she's pregnant.
Okay.
Should she still pray during the pregnancy or wait until the spotting is over?
You know, during pregnancy, usually the menstrual cycle does not come because the blood goes to the embryo. spotting does not mean always menstruation. Menstruation has got minimum period of time, which is 3 continuous days, and maximum, which is 10 continuous days. But spotting, not always menstrual. So when a pregnant lady gets spotting, these spots do not make her leave her Salah. She has to pray her Salah. These spots can be istihada. Istihada is a bleeding which is not menstrual. Non-menstrual bleeding has got the name of istihada. Istihada is bleeding but not menstrual. During istihada, the female must perform salah, but by performing wudu with every salah. I mean, this spotting, because it is very little bit amount of blood, we call it istihada qalila, little bit. Performing wudu with every salah means one wudu for morning, one wudu for dhuhr, and one wudu for asr, and one wudu for maghrib, and one wudu for isha. So that spotting is not menstrual, but just istihada, and she has to continue performing her salah with one wudu for every salah. Yes, please.
Is it possible to do more than one Umrah? For example, can we do Umrah, then wait a while and enter Ihram again and do another Umrah? How long should we wait between 2 Umrahs?
Is it allowed to perform another Umrah after performing our first Umrah? The answer, if you have performed the first Umrah within the same month, means now we are in Rabi' al-Thani. You performed Umrah in Rabi' al-Thani. You want to perform another Umrah in Rabi' al-Thani, same month, then you can perform it on behalf of someone else. The first one was for you. The second one can be on behalf of someone else. Can be your parents, can be the Ahlulbayt alayhim salam, can be your grandfather, or can be anyone. So the other Umrahs can be on behalf of others. But if the month has finished and then now it is a new month, say for example, you performed Umrah in Rajab, and after 2 days, 3 days, or 4, Rajab is over, and now it is Sha'ban. It is another month. You are allowed then to perform another Umrah for yourself as well. So the matter is very easy. For yourself, one Umrah in one Islamic month. Others, it should be for or on behalf of others.
And can you use months in the Gregorian calendar? So, for example, it's
can
October.
we? Sorry, please, if you can.
Can we use months with regards to the Gregorian calendar? Gregorian calendar. What I mean by that is, if I was to perform Umrah now, saying it's October, and then 1st of November, I decide to perform another Umrah, but it's in the same month Islamically.
No, we mean same month and other month, not by Gregorian calendar. No, we mean the Islamic months. Islamic months. But if you perform Umrah in the beginning of the Gregorian month and you want in the beginning, say beginning of October, beginning of November will be definitely another month, another Islamic month, because the Islamic month is less than 31. Islamic month is less than the Gregorian. Islamic month can be 29 or maximum 30, while the Gregorian can be either 30 or 31. In short, we mean by Umrah in the same month, same Islamic month.
There are different avenues to looking into your future. For example, Fal, if you do this, is it true, is reduce your lifespan as a consequence?
Is it true that doing Fal reduces our
Lifespan.
lifespan? In fact, doing Fal is wrong. It is wrong. And anything wrong has got effect on our lifespan. So we should avoid doing anything wrong, not only the haram, but even some of the makruh we must avoid, because any wrong can definitely harm us, including reducing our lifespan.
Is this hadith authentic? At the time of sunset, we say Bismillah and close the windows so that the jinn will not enter.
Time of what, please?
At the time of sunset, we say Bismillah and close the windows so the jinn will not enter.
I cannot comment. The person who claimed that this narration is narrated in some authentic book, let him send details. Where did he see it? And then we can search and do the research and then reply whether it is authentic or not. Where did he read this narration? I mean, we don't close our windows because jinn, they are not like us. Jinn, they don't need window to enter. Their movement is not like our movement. They are not material like us. So, as far as the question is concerned, the person should send me where did he find this narration, then we can research and reply him.
Is it permissible for a person to wear 2 rings on one finger when having 3 rings? For example, Aqiq, Firuza, Dur and Najaf.
Yes, it is permissible to wear rings. Of course, wearing rings should start in the right hand. التختم باليمين. So it is highly recommended to wear ring in your right hand. If your right hand has already a ring or more and you want to wear in your left hand, it is also permissible. But don't wear ring in your left hand and leave your right hand without ring. Ring is always recommended for men and women, but man is not allowed to wear golden ring at all, while women is allowed. Yes, please.
Okay. Is it permissible for a woman to tuck in her shirt at the front while leaving it untucked at the back to cover her behind, given that the trousers are loose and wide?
Women or any female should not tuck her cloth, whether from front or back or sides. No, because women should not make her cloth touch her body in a way which can show the size or details of her body. So tucking the cloth and making the cloth tied is not good. Always female should keep her cloth loose enough that it should not show what is beneath it.
Okay, does the fifth greater sin, murder, exclusively pertain to the killing of a Muslim due to their beliefs, or does it encompass other motives as well? What defines mischief making in the Quran that could justify a Muslim killing another Muslim?
No way that killing can be justified. No way that killing an innocent can be justified. Killing an innocent is one of the most dangerous major sins. Those who kill the believers just because of their faith, I mean, they kill them because they are believers, they are the most dangerous murderers. But any crime of murder is mischief on the earth. فساد في الأرض. فساد في الأرض, mischief on the earth. So any type of killing, if it was done deliberately, because we say also that if someone killed someone by mistake, say he wanted to shoot a bird and his bullet went on a human being and killed him, that is not a deliberate crime of killing. That is something happened by mistake. But the killing which was deliberate, someone wants to kill someone for any reason, a person is killing an innocent. You see, that is a crime which cannot be justified at all. So all types of killing, except, I mean, all types of deliberate killing is crime. The killing which happens by accident, without any deliberate intention, that is something which we call it khata'an. Khata'an. There is kafara for it mentioned in the books of the Islamic rules.
Is it permissible to pray in an undershirt, for example, a vest, at home?
I understand that this question has come from a man or a boy. Okay? I mean, this cannot be from a female. The female must cover all her body while praying Salah, except her feet. While man is allowed to pray his Salah wearing shirt. Yes, it is permissible.
Can you suggest any books on Hazrat Ali Akbar alayhi salam?
We have got Arabic books or books in Arabic about Hazrat Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam in Arabic. Yes, please.
Sayyid told us about Aqaid website, but it is in Arabic. I can only understand English.
We have got other websites in English. I also advise you to send an email to the website Aqaid, which is aqaed.com. You send me an email and request them to send you the links of their English translations. And they have got many translations in English. This Aqaid website has got the articles and the books written by non-Shia scholars who became Shias through research from their own books. They researched Bukhari and Muslim and other books of Hadith, and they discovered evidence that real Islam is the Islam of Ahlulbayt, which is known as Shia Islam. So you can send an email to the website, and they usually send English translations to many of their articles.
If someone wakes up for Fajr and prays at the masjid, should they make supplication before going back to sleep, or is it permissible to sleep without making any supplication?
If you ask about the permissible or not permissible, the answer is after performing your obligatory Salah, it is permissible for you to sleep. But if you ask about what is the best, then I tell you, when you perform your Salat al-Fajr, it is highly recommended to recite dua, supplication, tasbih, Quran, ziyarat. Be awake, busy in remembering Allah between Fajr and sunrise. Sleeping between Fajr and sunrise is makruh and harmful. So, if you have already performed your Fajr in the masjid and you want to go to sleep again, it is permissible. But you will lose or you will miss great reward of the recitation, ta'qibat, dua, Quran, tasbih, and so on, which has got best time of it between Fajr and sunrise.
Okay, sorry, I'm just wary of time. I'm probably going to try and squeeze in one quick last question. We are taught to treat animals with respect. Most animals where I live are tortured in factory farms. Pork cannot be made halal. Can meat from tortured animals be made halal?
Animals are being tortured, right? And animals, after being tortured, are being slaughtered, or what?
I guess that's the claim. So that basically, I'm assuming that the conditions that the animals are held in is considered torture by this person who's posing the question, and therefore is asking, is such meat where the animals are kept in such horrendous conditions halal?
I mean, as far as the animal is still alive and animal was being slaughtered in the proper way of Sharia, of Islam, then it is halal. But if the torture causes death, then no, because any animal which dies before being slaughtered as halal remains non-halal, and it can never be halal. Of course, torturing animal is very bad act. and those who torture animals will suffer much more than them in the day of judgment. We have got hadith that a Muslim woman will enter hellfire because of her torturing a cat at her home and locking the cat up, not letting the cat go out and eat, and not feeding the cat properly in her home. So very dangerous to torture animals and do that, because after all, Allah will not let any oppressed without support, even if the oppressed are animals. Yes, please.
Thank you, Sayyidina. We just have under a minute.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. I want to remind myself and my respected mu'mineen and mu'minat to keep our Quranic recitation as a daily practice every day. Don't forget it. It is not only the month of Ramadan. We must practice reciting Quran even for a few minutes every day, and not leave it and not forget about it, because we don't want to come in the day of Qiyamah and Quran will complain against us because we ignored reciting Quran as we were being supposed to recite. Minimum 50 verses or more, 100 verses or more, 200 verses, but recite. Whether you can recite 5 minutes or 10 minutes or more or less, but keep Quran recitation as a daily practice in our life. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let me add something here. A great marji of taqleed. He was being asked by a mu'min what to do to see Imam Zaman alayhi salam. What shall I do to see my Imam? Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam. The marji of taqleed replied him, read Quran, look at Quran. When you look at Quran, you are looking at Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, because Allah made Quran and Ahlulbayt together. So when you look at Quran, read Quran, you will be seeing the greatness of Ahlulbayt alayhim as-salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Thank you very much indeed to you, Sayyidina, as always, on behalf of all our viewers. Inshallah, we'll see you again soon. Until the next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The 5 daily prayers are a fundamental component of the believer's day. It is a celestial journey through which the believer reconnects with his Lord and charges his spiritual battery. Yet, many people face a constant challenge in keeping focused and attentive during prayer. Here are a few tips to help make prayer a more enjoyable experience. Salah is not a distraction. The main reason why someone gets distracted in prayer is because prayer is itself a distraction for them from whatever activity they were busy doing. This creates a situation in which we continue to think about the things that we were doing prior to praying.